At my promotion celebration, my girlfriend announced, "Finally, maybe now he can afford a real restaurant instead of these dive bars." In front of my principal and colleagues, I smiled and said, "You're right, I should celebrate with people who appreciate my achievements." Then I invited everyone except her to the real celebration. She learned that some bridges burn themselves. But let me tell you how we got there, because this isn't just about one humiliating comment. This is about what happens when someone you love thinks your life's work is beneath them. I'm Ethan, I'm 29, and I teach high school history. Yeah, I know what some of you are thinking: teachers don't make much money. It's not glamorous. Kids today are terrible. I've heard it all. But here's the thing, I love what I do. I love seeing a kid finally understand why the civil rights movement mattered, or watching them make connections between historical patterns and current events. It's not about the money for me. It never was. Ashley knew this when we started dating a year and a half ago. At least, I thought she did. We met at a friend's birthday party. She was this beautiful, confident marketing assistant who seemed impressed that I was shaping young minds. She asked thoughtful questions about my work, seemed genuinely interested in my stories about students. I was smitten. The shift started subtle. Maybe 3 months in, she began making little comments. "Oh, you're still at the high school," when I'd mention work. Or, "When are you thinking about moving into administration?" Like teaching itself was just a stepping stone to something better. I'd brush it off. Ashley worked in marketing. She was ambitious, goal-oriented. I figured she just didn't understand that some people find fulfillment in ways that don't involve climbing corporate ladders. But the comments got more frequent, more pointed. When her sister Rachel got engaged to a doctor, Ashley spent the entire drive home from the engagement party talking about career trajectories and financial security. When her friend posted about buying a new car, Ashley would sigh and say things like, "Must be nice to have a partner who prioritizes earning potential." Each time, she'd follow it up with, "I'm not criticizing you, babe. I just want us to have options." Options. Like my career was limiting her somehow. The breaking point came 6 months ago when I got promoted to department head. I was over the moon. This was recognition for 6 years of dedicated work, proof that my principal valued my leadership. The promotion came with a modest raise, bringing me up to $52K, and more importantly, the chance to shape curriculum for the entire history department. I called Ashley from school, practically bouncing with excitement. "Babe, I got it, department head." "Oh," she said, "that's nice. What does that mean salary-wise?" Not "congratulations," not "I'm so proud of you." Her first question was about money. "It's about a $4,000 raise," I told her, feeling my excitement deflate a little. Well, every little bit helps, I guess." Every little bit helps. Like I was a kid getting an allowance increase. That night I wanted to celebrate. I suggested O'Malley's, this Irish pub near school where a lot of the teachers hang out. It's not fancy, but the food is good, the atmosphere is warm, and it felt right for celebrating something connected to my work. Ashley wrinkled her nose. "Can't we go somewhere nicer, like that new steakhouse downtown?" "I thought it would be fun to celebrate where my colleagues might stop by," I said. "You know, make it a community thing." "Your colleagues." She said it like I'd suggested celebrating with a pack of stray dogs. But she agreed, and I thought maybe she was making an effort to understand my world better. I should have known better. The night of the celebration, I was genuinely happy. My principal, Sarah Johnson, had stopped by with a few other teachers. Marcus Thompson, who teaches English and has become a good friend, was there with his wife. A few other department heads had shown up. It felt like exactly what I'd wanted: my work family celebrating this achievement with me. Ashley arrived 20 minutes late, dressed like she was going to a business dinner instead of a casual pub celebration. She air-kissed me hello and immediately started scanning the room with this barely concealed look of distaste. "This is it?" she asked quietly. "What do you mean?" "This is your celebration, this place." I felt my stomach tighten, but I introduced her around. Sarah was gracious, asking Ashley about her work, trying to include her in conversation. Marcus and his wife made an effort to connect with her. Everyone was being genuinely welcoming. Ashley smiled and made small talk, but I could see her discomfort. She kept checking her phone, looking around like she was waiting for an escape route. About an hour in, Sarah raised her glass to make a toast. "To Ethan," she said, loud enough for the whole group to hear. "6 years of dedication, innovation, and genuine care for our students. The history department is lucky to have you leading them." Everyone clapped and cheered. I felt that warm glow you get when people you respect acknowledge your work. This was what I'd wanted recognition from my professional community. That's when Ashley decided to speak up. "Finally," she announced, her voice cutting through the applause, "maybe now he can afford a real restaurant instead of these dive bars." The silence that followed was deafening. I felt my face burn with embarrassment and anger. Not just because of what she'd said, but because she'd said it in front of Sarah, in front of my colleagues, in front of people whose respect I'd worked years to earn. Sarah's expression shifted from celebratory to concerned. Marcus looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor for my sake. The entire energy of the room changed. Ashley seemed to realize she'd stepped in it, but instead of apologizing, she doubled down. "I mean, it's just nice that the promotion comes with better financial opportunities, right?" I looked at her sitting there, having just insulted my workplace, my colleagues, and my choices in front of my boss, and something crystallized for me. "You're absolutely right," I said, my voice staying remarkably calm. "I should celebrate with people who appreciate my achievements." I stood up and addressed the table. "You know what? Ashley's right. We should continue this celebration somewhere that matches the respect I have for all of you. Who's up for moving this party to Meridian downtown? Dinner's on me." The invitation was clear, everyone except Ashley. Marcus caught on immediately. "That sounds perfect, man. Sarah, you in?" Sarah, bless her, understood exactly what was happening. "I'd be honored to continue celebrating with you, Ethan." Within 5 minutes, the entire group was gathering their things to head to the upscale restaurant Ashley had wanted to go to in the first place. The irony was perfect. Ashley sat there, stunned, as everyone prepared to leave without her. "Ethan," she said quietly, "what are you doing?" "I'm celebrating my promotion with people who think it's worth celebrating," I replied. "You made it clear this place isn't good enough for you. So we're going somewhere that is. But I'm your girlfriend. Are you? Because girlfriends usually support their partner's achievements instead of humiliating them in front of their colleagues." The group was already heading toward the door. Sarah paused next to me. "Ethan, I just want you to know how much we value you, not just your work but your character. See you at Meridian." Ashley tried one more time. "This is ridiculous." I made one little comment. "That little comment told everyone in this room exactly what you think of me and my career," I said, "and now they know where I stand too." I left her sitting there and walked out with my colleagues. The second celebration was incredible. Without Ashley's negative energy, I could actually enjoy the recognition. Sarah told stories about my impact on students. Marcus shared funny classroom moments we'd had. Other teachers talked about curriculum ideas they were excited to collaborate on. For the first time in months, I felt genuinely appreciated for who I was and what I did. My phone buzzed constantly with texts from Ashley. First angry, "This is embarrassing. How could you just leave me there?" Then pleading, "Come back, we can work this out." Finally desperate, "Everyone's staring at me. This is humiliating." I turned my phone off and enjoyed my dinner. The next morning, Ashley was waiting at my apartment when I got back from my Saturday morning run. "We need to talk," she said. "Do we?" "Ethan, I'm sorry about last night. I didn't mean to embarrass you. I was just trying to be supportive about the financial improvement. By calling my workplace a dive bar in front of my boss." "I didn't say dive bar," I said. "You said real restaurant, like where we were wasn't real, like the place my colleagues and I gather wasn't worthy of celebrating at." Ashley looked frustrated. "You're being oversensitive. I support your career." "No, you don't. You tolerate it while hoping I'll change into something you find more acceptable." That's when the real truth came out. "Fine," she snapped. "You want honesty. Teaching isn't a real career for a man approaching 30. It's fine for women or for people who don't have other options, but you're smart enough to do something that actually pays. My sister's husband makes 6 figures. My friend's fiancé just bought a house. What am I supposed to tell people when they ask what my boyfriend does? That he makes $52K teaching teenagers. There it was. The truth she'd been dancing around for over a year. What you tell people, I said quietly, is that you used to date someone who cared more about making a difference than making money. Used to. Ethan, don't be dramatic. We can work through this. No, we can't, because you've made it clear that who I am isn't enough for you, and I'm not interested in changing into someone I'm not to meet your standards. She tried bargaining then. Promised she'd be more supportive, said she'd learned to appreciate my work, even offered to start volunteering at the school. But I could see it in her eyes she still thought teaching was beneath her, beneath us. She was just willing to hide it better. Ashley, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. You've shown me that you're embarrassed by my life's work. That's not something we can compromise on. She left angry, telling me I was making a huge mistake, that I'd never find someone else who put up with my lack of ambition. The fallout was swift and exactly what I expected. By Monday, the story had spread through school. Not maliciously, Sarah and Marcus weren't gossips but teachers' talk, and word got around that I'd publicly stood up to my girlfriend when she disrespected our profession. The response was overwhelming. Colleagues I barely knew stopped by to say they respected how I'd handled it. Students noticed I seemed happier and more confident. Even parents mentioned that I seemed more energetic during conferences. Sarah called me into her office Wednesday afternoon. I was nervous had Ashley's behavior reflected poorly on me professionally. "Ethan," Sarah said, "I want to talk about Saturday night." My heart sank. "I've been teaching for 20 years, she continued, "and I've seen a lot of teachers struggle with family members who don't respect what we do. Your response on Saturday showed exactly the kind of leadership and self-respect we need in our department heads." I exhaled in relief. "In fact," she said, "I'm recommending you for the district curriculum committee. It's additional compensation and a chance to shape policy beyond our school." Interested? I was floored. Not only had Ashley's behavior not hurt my standing, my response had apparently enhanced it. Meanwhile, Ashley was dealing with her own consequences. She'd had to explain to everyone at the restaurant why she'd been abandoned by her boyfriend and his entire professional circle. According to mutual friends, she'd tried to play it off as a misunderstanding, but the optics were clear. Her boyfriend had chosen his colleagues over her. Her mother called me a week later. "Ethan, Ashley is devastated. Can't you two work this out? She says you're being unreasonable." "Mrs. Martinez," I said respectfully, "your daughter publicly humiliated me in front of my boss because she's ashamed of my career. That's not unreasonable to walk away from." There was a long pause. "She said you were teaching high school. That's a good job, Ethan. My brother was a teacher. I don't understand why Ashley would." Ashley hadn't told her mother the whole truth. She'd painted me as the unreasonable one without mentioning her own behavior. "Maybe you should ask Ashley exactly what she said that night," I suggested. 2 weeks later, Mrs. Martinez called back. "Ethan, I'm so sorry. I spoke with some people who were there. What Ashley did was unacceptable. Her father and I didn't raise her to look down on honest work." Even Ashley's own family was distancing themselves from her behavior. The real validation came a month later during our spring open house. I was explaining our new curriculum initiatives to parents when I noticed a familiar face in the crowd. Emma Garcia, the school librarian I'd worked with on several projects but never really gotten to know personally. After the presentation, she approached me. "That was really impressive, Ethan. The way you connected historical thinking to current media literacy, I've been trying to figure out how to integrate that into library science classes." We ended up talking for an hour about education philosophy, student engagement techniques, and our shared frustration with people who didn't understand the complexity of what we did. "Can I buy you coffee sometime?" she asked as the evening wound down. "I'd love to collaborate on some cross-curricular projects." Coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into long walks discussing everything from teaching strategies to our favorite historical periods. Emma understood my passion for education because she shared it. When I told her about my promotion, Her first response was genuine excitement about what it meant for student learning. Dating Emma was like stepping into sunlight after months in shadows. She celebrated my small victories, a particularly engaging lesson, a breakthrough with a difficult student, recognition from parents. She understood why I stayed late for extracurriculars and came in early to mentor struggling kids. Most importantly, she was proud to be with a teacher. When people asked what her boyfriend did, she'd light up talking about my impact on students and my innovative curriculum work. Ashley tried to contact me one more time about 3 months after the restaurant incident. She'd heard through mutual friends that I was dating someone new. "I see you've moved on quickly," she said when she cornered me at a coffee shop near school. "I moved on appropriately," I corrected. "With another teacher, I heard. Very convenient. With someone who respects what I do for a living." Yeah, it's amazing how much easier relationships are when you're with someone who values your life's work. Ashley looked tired, defeated. "I never said I didn't value it. Ashley, you called my workplace a dive bar in front of my boss. You told me teaching wasn't a real career for a man. You were embarrassed to tell people what I did for a living. If that's your definition of valuing something, I'm glad we have different dictionaries." She started to argue, then stopped. Maybe she finally understood that there was no walking back what she'd revealed about her true feelings. "I hope you're happy," she said, but it didn't sound like she meant it. "I am. I hope you find someone whose career meets your standards." 6 months later, I heard through the grapevine that Ashley was dating a pharmaceutical sales rep who made good money but traveled constantly and barely saw her. According to friends, she complained constantly about feeling ignored and unappreciated. Meanwhile, Emma and I were planning summer curriculum workshops together and talking about moving in together when my lease was up. She'd started coming to faculty events where she fit in seamlessly with my colleagues. Sarah had mentioned several times how nice it was to see me with someone who got it. The district curriculum position Sarah had recommended me for came through, along with a significant pay bump and the chance to influence education policy across multiple schools. When I told Emma, she insisted we celebrate at O'Malley's. "This is where it all started," she said, raising her glass. "Where you chose self-respect over settling." Looking back, Ashley did me a massive favor that night. Her public disrespect forced me to choose between my dignity and my relationship. I'm grateful I chose correctly. I learned something crucial about compatibility that goes beyond attraction or shared interests. You need to be with someone who respects the fundamental choices that define who you are. If your partner is ashamed of your life's work, they're ashamed of you. Ashley wanted me to be someone with a more prestigious job, higher salary, better social status. She was dating my potential instead of my reality. Emma loves my reality and supports my growth within it. The difference is transformative. Instead of defending my choices, I'm celebrating them. Instead of making excuses for my career, I'm being recognized for excellence in it. Instead of feeling like I needed to change who I was, I found someone who thinks who I am is pretty great. Some bridges do burn themselves. Ashley's comment that night wasn't a mistake or a slip-up, it was the truth finally coming out. And sometimes, when someone shows you exactly what they think of you, the best response is to believe them and act accordingly. I chose the people who choose me. Best decision I ever made.